let's talk about their first stages. Well, before they even come into the role, what we're going to do is define their role with them and make sure that they understand what it means to be a people manager at our organization, right? What does that mean? When you move from an individual contributor role into a people management role, you're not just getting promoted and suddenly your work is just going to the next level. You suddenly take on this brand new position. And there's a reason that lots of companies are changing their structure to say, hey, you don't have to be a people manager at our company, because it's not always really fun to be a people manager. A lot of people just don't want that different responsibility. Imagine you're a designer and you become an amazing designer and you're so great. And then the only next step is to also manage other designers. Well, that's not the same thing as taking your design to the next level, right? And similarly, we see this in sales, we see this in engineering, and the reverse is true as well. There are certain people who maybe they don't have the technical skills at the level that's necessary to keep moving into a very, very senior role, but they're actually amazing and enabling the people who report into them. They're amazing at championing on behalf of their team members. They're amazing at identifying skill sets and making sure that the right people are in the right role, moving in the right direction. So if you can find that balance where somebody understands the skill sets that their team members need to have, and they're excellent at motivating their team, providing ongoing clarity, this is an opportunity to pull people into these types of roles. So here we are before this role gets started, and we're talking to this individual and we're saying, you are up for this promotion. And as you move into this promotion, here's what it looks like. These are the KPIs your team would need to hit. This is your decision-making authority that you'd need to step into. You'd be responsible for the results of your team, the performance of your team members. And so you really need to understand what it means to be a people manager in your company. From here, if assuming they've accepted, you've accepted them, we're now moving into an onboarding plan. So this may or may not involve the manager, but go take some time to structure an onboarding process. You can kind of see the grayed out boxes here. We have first week, first month, first 90 days, first year, and onward. Make sure that you have a plan in place for each of your direct reports that are turning into managers. Now, I say and you might be an HR leader, but I will say that this is best done by the manager's supervisor. This is not necessarily a job for HR. And too often I see that this gets delegated to talent development or to an HRBP. If you, as a leader, are handing this project off to somebody else, you're missing an opportunity to build trust with this new manager so they can speak up and say, yikes, I actually didn't realize what you had to deal with when you were in my role. Like, can you give me advice? Can you help me out? And so if you're not the person having these conversations with them, you're not taking the time to build up that muscle with them. Trust that they will need to come back and leverage in the future. So I really encourage you to do this as a manager. Be the person who owns the role clarity, who owns the onboarding plan. Maybe in collaboration with HR, but you should be the point of contact for this new manager. Next up, before they even begin the role, go into some stakeholder mapping. Make sure they understand internal and externally who are the people that they need to engage with. Outline all of the different relationships that you expect them to accomplish with their managers. Who do they need to talk with? What is it that needs to happen? Who do they need to collaborate with on an ongoing basis? And how does this impact the likely results of their team? Make sure they understand these pieces, and you'll layer that into their first week of orientation.